I'm just going to ask the question of if Star Wars can possibly be saved. And I think that this current trilogy is probably not going to be saved. I think it's probably beyond repair, but you can still, or Lucasfilm could still do movies that have nothing to do with the characters of Luke, Han, and Leia, or Kylo or Rey, and still have some success. But they are really going to have to get away from doing what they've been doing, and that is putting their politics in front of storytelling. And maybe that was just Rian Johnson. Maybe that wasn't the plan of Lucasfilm, but I do pretty much believe that that was what we got with the feminist push and I wouldn't even say it was sort of a diversity push in The Last Jedi, but that wouldn't have been, so it wasn't as egregious as the whole feminism angle was. That was just hard to watch, because typically feminism, especially now, doesn't work out to be about equality. In practice, current feminism is mostly about female supremacy, and that's just not going to work. Not even women, the majority of women want a world where men are subservient to women. What are you going to do? What are we going to do when we ever come to, let's say, war? Are you going to suddenly then, let's just say, if we have women be on top, so to speak, then what if we enter a war? Are we suddenly going to say, oh, well, let's switch the order back around, let the men be, the stronger ones again, and we'll happily stay home and let the men all go to war? So that'd be kind of ridiculous. But anyway, I think it can be saved if they get away from pushing these politics instead of focusing on actually telling a good story. As for this trilogy, it's probably beyond repair unless they are willing to do what I don't believe they'll do, but unless they are willing to actually have Rey go to the dark side and turn Rey to the light. I'm not Rey, but Kylo to the light, and Rey goes to the dark side. And they have hinted at it before, and it seemed like it was obvious that they were going to go there, but they didn't. But to me, it's clear as day that Kylo is actually the one on the hero's journey. He's the last Skywalker. He defeated the Emperor, or not really the Emperor, so they don't have an empire anymore. But he defeated Snoke. He was the one who took a defeat and bounced back from it. In the first movie, he was defeated. And I think he was sort of defeated again in the second movie. But he's the one who is up against the odds. So in a way, he's the one who at least I am tempted to root for. As far as Rey goes, I mean, is there any doubt that she's going to win, or is there any doubt that she can accomplish the thing that she decides to do? No, I don't think there's any doubt at all. So they've really, I don't know if this is a story that they wanted to tell, because if this is a story that they wanted to tell, then they really don't know how to tell a good story. But I guess that wouldn't surprise me, since I guess from what I heard, a lot of women are on the story writing team, or on the story, what do you call it? I can't remember, the story something. And I think from what I also heard, women tend to write characters who are rather bland, but it's more of their situation or the things that are happening around them that are interesting, and they tend to write female characters that their main protagonist is rather bland, so that the women who watch the story can project themselves into the protagonist's her shoes, because she's somewhat of a blank slate, or a little empty, let's just say a black hole of character. There's nothing there. The viewer can project themselves into that spot, and enjoy the story that way. And I heard that was the way women tend to watch things, and so this is the way that they write fiction. But what you often end up with is a very bland character, and that is exactly what Rey is. She is a very bland character, and as things are now, Star Wars is not going to be saved. It is going to crash and burn because people on the whole don't want to read stories about a bland main character. So turn Rey into a Sith, turn Kylo to the light, and he probably still has to die because he's done so much stuff already. So he may turn to the light, but he has to die anyway. And unfortunately, unless they change something, that'll be the end of the Skywalker bloodline. And I don't know if maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe it is what they wanted. Maybe they wanted to start completely with an entirely new slate. They wanted to make Star Wars without the things that Star Wars was built on. They're stripping it down to its most what do you call it, bare parts. Stripping it down to the most simple parts, I guess, simplest parts, and they're just going to use that and try to branch that off into as many movies and whatnot as they can. But yeah, they're definitely going to have to get away from the politics, and I haven't even mentioned the from my perspective as a black person, they are definitely going to, if they're going to promote a character of an African American character like Finn, they are seriously going to have to get away from these negative stereotypes that they push, with Finn being mostly played for jokes, cowardly, skirt chasing, what else? Bumbling, sort of foolish, and I mean, they promoted him as a potential Jedi. If you go back and look at the promotional material for The Force Awakens, he's holding a lightsaber. He's looking courageous. He's looking like he's a strong fighter, and he ends up being none of that. And so that was a slap in the face to African American viewers. And if Lucasfilm doesn't realize that they have seriously misstepped with Finn, then they have a very serious problem. They have a serious misunderstanding of the people who they think they understand. And from my experience, a lot of liberals actually do have that misunderstanding. They think they know the people that they claim to be fighting for, and they claim to be trying to, the social justice warriors I'm talking about. They think they are doing something good by putting a character like Finn into a movie, but it's actually, to be completely honest, I would rather have no representation than bad representation. And I don't know anyone who would argue with that. And so that is, I guess that's the end of this video. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for listening.